Time to pick a Popcak.
Yeah, and we're going to spin the wheel and see which Popcak it lands on for today.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I do know the first part. It's Dr. Greg. Very good to have you with us this morning, Dr. Greg Popcak. Thanks for joining us.
It did not land on Dr. Greg.
That thing is on the other side of the room for me.
So you got to squint, Dave.
I'm sorry. Tell me then. I'm not seeing it correctly.
It lands on
Jacob.
Oh, it's Jacob. It's Jacob Popcak. Yeah. I can see it now. Oh, let me put my glasses on.
From the time that we spin the wheel and it stops to the time we get him on the phone.
Yeah.
It's like, so Sean is very quick on that.
It's Jacob Popcak.
Good morning, Jacob.
I'm here. My name's hard to make out sometimes.
Well, they both end the same. So it's
Oh, it's good to have you on. So glad you're here because I want to talk a little bit about social media and this 24-hour news cycle that we're in. I don't know about you, but I think everybody gets a little confused and a little discombobulated with everything going on, and some discernment is necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think it's kind of a wild experience to be in right now. You know, I read a study just yesterday, actually, by a major psychological publication that said that those who watch, you know, traumatic or violent events that have happened in the news cycle, those who see it on social media, experience the same levels of stress as people who experienced it firsthand, and those who watch more than 6 hours of that content experience greater stress than the people who are actually victims of that thing. You know, we're all exposing ourselves to these stressors all the time, and you know, I swipe on a video and I hear one influencer who says they're of God, you know, and on, you know, the side of right say one thing, and then I swipe and I see someone who says the same thing, but a completely different point. And we get kind of overwhelmed, and we don't know who to trust, and we don't know who to kind of submit to or to believe. And it can become very, very overwhelming and very, very taxing on both a spiritual level and a mental health level. But I think there are some kind of core ways, actually, that the church herself, in her wisdom, have provided to us to sort of practice some greater discernment in regards to the kind of content we experience, and specifically the kind of influencers, whether those are social media influencers, whether those are political pundits, whether those are speakers on a kind of local level, we heed. And that surprisingly, I think, but is actually the fruits of the Holy Spirit, right? Mm-hmm. The fruits of the Holy Spirit, you remember learning this back in your first communion or confirmation prep class, and maybe it just sort of went in one ear and out the other as a sort of like fluffy, nice, sort of generally Catholic thing. But that would be a real kind of undermining of what the gifts and fruits of the Holy Spirit really are, right? The fruits of the Holy Spirit are the way we're supposed to recognize if a person is acting in the Holy Spirit, and the way we're supposed to recognize if we're acting in the Holy Spirit. So they're really one of the most hardcore litmus tests the church can possibly provide for whether or not we should heed someone's advice. Let's just kind of recap for those of us who maybe don't remember back to their Sunday school classes, right? The fruits of the Holy Spirit are charity, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, generosity, gentleness, faithfulness, modesty, self-control, and chastity. And the Catechism 1832 says that these are perfections that the Holy Spirit forms in us as the first fruits of eternal glory, right? That they're these signs that the Holy Spirit is working in us, that a person is right with God. Now, again, those all sound nice on paper, but let's really think about it. If you're looking at some, speaker, some influencer, some pundit, some, news reporter of whatever stripe, right? And you're wondering, hey, is this a good person? Is this a person of God who is telling me the truth in a way that I should submit to? Or is this kind of a malevolent person who maybe I need to take with a grain of salt? We should ask ourselves, well, is this person charitable? And are they encouraging me to be charitable? Especially with those less fortunate, with the poor, as we're taught by our faith, Christ has this preferential love for, right? Are they joyful? And are they encouraging me towards greater joy? Are they peaceful? And are they encouraging me towards greater peace? Are they patient, especially with those who perhaps disagree with them? Are they kind? And are they encouraging me to greater kindness? Right? Are they generous? Are they gentle in their presentation style? Are they clearly faithful, or at least trying to be? We all fall short sometimes, but are they attempting to be sort of faithful, both to God and to their own values, right? But also, if they're married, to their spouse, or are they, the kind of person who's going off, kind of cheating all the time or something like that, right? Are they modest of speech, or are they just kind of, saying loud, aggressive things to get a rise out of me? Do they have self-control? Do they encourage me to have self-control? Are they chaste, right? Those are the kind of critical thinking questions that as psychotherapists we always ask and encourage our clients to ask when they're evaluating a resource, and they don't get kind of caught up in it and go down a rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. But I think they're also sort of externalized examinations of conscience that we, of Catholics of good faith, can ask so that we don't get confused or end up following, bad faith shepherds, as it were, into places that we ought not be.
Right. So do you find, Jacob, that because I must admit, when I saw your topic, I spend like next to nothing on social media. Like I'm doing stuff. I'm busy. And so I kind of went, really? I mean, people get this into social media that they're trying to think of like, who do I listen to? Like, I guess I always think, well, that's what our faith is about. We listen to Jesus Christ. So the more I know the scriptures, I don't have to really worry about what everybody else is saying. So I take such a different approach here with this stuff. So it's kind of boggles my mind a little bit. So how do you deal with that? I mean, you're trying to take them where they're at, but do you try to kind of get them to see, there are other things to look at here?
Them being my clients?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's social media, but it's also the news. We all have different news that we watch, different news channels. We all have, different Catholic speakers, who will all say they're speaking on behalf of the church, but maybe all are saying slightly different things.
Okay.
And so, again, Christ encourages us to sort of ask questions, right? He says, I no longer call you servants, but friends, right? Not just people who are going to blindly obey, but people who are going to, question and participate with me and be my friend. And so what I'm really encouraging my clients to do when they're getting overwhelmed by the news cycle or by social media is to strive for that friendship by asking these bigger questions about the motives and the virtues of people.
I love this Fruits of the Spirit. That's
Jacob
a great
Popcak, thank you so much. Have a great day.